Hello, dear learners. Welcome back to the Jish Learn English podcast, the place where we make English learning simple, easy, and meaningful. If you're new here, hi, I'm Shaylin. I create these calming, thoughtful episodes to help you improve your English, not just with grammar and vocabulary, but with real understanding, so you can speak with confidence and feel that growth inside you. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about a very important topic, the big mistakes many English learners make, the ones that quietly stop you from becoming fluent. These are not just small mistakes. These are the kinds of mistakes that keep learners stuck in the same place for months, sometimes even years. You study, you watch videos, you take notes, but still, you feel like you're not moving forward, still at a beginner level, still unsure when you speak, still feeling like something is missing. Today, I want to help you realize these mistakes so you don't keep repeating them. Because when you understand what's stopping you, you can change your path and begin learning in a way that truly works. In this episode, I'll also share some simple, practical advice, easy steps you can use in your daily life, so you don't just avoid these mistakes, you replace them with habits that support you, habits that slowly build your confidence and help you speak English like it's your own language. Let's take a closer look at the first big mistake.
The first big mistake many of you make is this. You memorize the words, the grammar rules, the phrases, but you don't use them in your everyday life. And this, my friend, is where the real problem begins. In school, English was taught as a subject. We treated it just like we treated history or science or math. We were told to remember long vocabulary lists, to do grammar exercises, to write rules again and again. But here's the truth. Language is not a subject. It's not meant to be memorized like facts. It's meant to be used, spoken, felt, lived. Let's go a little deeper now. Trying to memorize English, word lists, grammar charts, sentence structures, without using them in real situations leads to something called shallow memory. So what is shallow memory? It means the information is stored only on the surface of your brain. You remember it for a short time, maybe a day. But because it's not connected to anything meaningful in your life, it disappears. And that's why so many of you feel this way. You study every day, you write down words in your notebook, but a few days later, they're gone. You feel like, maybe I'm not good at English. But it's not you, it's the method. Let me tell you what science says. Neuroscience proves that we remember things better when they're linked with emotion, context, and action. When a word is just a word on a list, your brain doesn't care. But when that word is part of a sentence you used, part of a story you heard, part of something you said to someone, now it matters. Now your brain saves it. So what can you do? Here's the shift I want you to make. Stop learning to remember. Start learning to use. Every time you learn a new word, don't just write it, use it. Make a sentence. Say that sentence out loud. Write it in your journal. Speak it to a friend. Record yourself. Don't wait until you're ready, because fluency doesn't come from storage. It comes from action. Let me ask you something. In your native language, did you memorize every word you speak today? No. You didn't sit down and say, okay, today I will memorize 100 new words in Japanese, or Thai, or Korean, or Vietnamese. You heard the words. You repeated what you heard. You made mistakes, and still you kept using them. You learned by living the language, and now that language is part of you. So why not do the same with English? Why not treat it like a living language, not just a subject? Why not turn every word into a sentence, every sentence into a story, and every story into a practice moment? Let this be your turning point. From today, stop memorizing. Start using, because English is not something you need to store. It's something you need to live. Speak it, try it, play with it, and let it become your language, not just in your notebook, but in your mouth, in your life.
Now listen carefully. This memorizing method we just talked about, it leads directly to your second big mistake. You wait to be perfect before you speak. Because in your mind, you're still in the learning phase. You're busy memorizing words, practicing grammar rules, studying every day, and that's good. But here's the problem. You think you'll speak after you've finished learning, after you've prepared enough, after your grammar is perfect, after you feel confident. But that after, it never comes. This mindset delays your fluency more than you realize. Many learners believe they should speak English only when they're ready, when they won't make mistakes, when they'll sound correct. But let me tell you the truth. Language learning is not like exam preparation. It's not a subject where you learn the whole book first, then give a test at the end. Language is a skill, and skills only grow through use, through messy, imperfect, emotional, real-world practice. Let's look at what science says. Studies in second language acquisition, and yes, these are backed by real research, show that when you keep delaying speech, your brain stores the language in what's called passive memory. What is passive memory? It means you understand the words when you read or listen. You know the rules. But when it's time to speak, you freeze. Your mouth doesn't move. Your brain panics. Why? Because passive memory is not enough. It doesn't become active speaking ability unless you train your brain to use it. And that only happens when you start speaking, even when you're not ready. This perfection mindset creates a dangerous loop. You study more, you don't speak, you wait for confidence, you don't get it, then you feel frustrated. You say, I'm trying so hard. I'm learning every day, but I still can't speak. Why? And that leads to self-doubt. You think maybe something is wrong with you. You question your ability. But once again, it's not you, it's the method. So what should you do instead? Here's what I want you to try. Start speaking before you feel ready. Even if you make mistakes, even if your grammar is not perfect, even if you get stuck. Because the moment you speak, you turn your passive knowledge into active skill. Think of a baby learning to walk. She doesn't wait for the perfect moment. She tries, she falls, she gets up, and eventually she walks with joy. That's how we learn every real skill. So, if you want to become fluent, don't wait for perfection. Use the imperfect language you already know. Here are some ideas to begin. Speak one sentence a day about your day,
your feelings, your plans. Record your voice. No one needs to hear it but you. Talk to yourself. Yes, really. In your room, while cooking, in front of a mirror. Join a language partner or community, not to be perfect, but to be real. Fluency doesn't come after learning. Fluency comes while learning. So, from today, give yourself permission to speak with mistakes. Because mistakes are not failure. They are signs that you are learning, trying, growing. Let the language flow out of you, even if it's broken, even if it's slow. Because broken English, used often, will become fluent English. You don't need to be perfect to begin, but you do need to begin to become fluent.
The third big mistake you might be making is trying to learn English without emotion or connection. You study vocabulary, you read grammar rules, you repeat phrases, but something feels flat, mechanical, robotic, like your brain is just going through motions. You see, when we learn anything new, especially a language, our brain needs more than information. It needs emotion. It needs meaning. It needs connection. This is something science supports strongly. Cognitive studies show that when you learn something with emotion, your brain holds on to it much longer. It forms stronger memory links because the emotion acts like glue. Let's say you hear the word goodbye in a sad song, or I miss you in a movie scene that makes you tear up, or you learn a new phrase while laughing with a friend. That moment, that emotion, makes the word unforgettable. But if you just memorize the word on a flashcard, without any context, without any feeling, your brain doesn't care. It sees it as just another piece of data, and data is easy to forget. Think about how children learn language. They don't sit with grammar books, they don't memorize rules, they learn through emotion, through curiosity, play, excitement, stories. They learn because they care, because the language is connected to real life. Now ask yourself, are you learning English in a way that feels real? Are you connecting the language to your own life, your own stories, your dreams, your struggles, your joys? If not, that might be the reason why words don't stick, why grammar rules slip away, why you feel like you're learning a lot but remembering so little. So what's the solution? Make your English learning human again. Here's how. Choose topics that matter to you. Learn through themes that touch your life, your goals, your struggles, your joys. Use stories instead of dry rules. A simple story using the past tense will teach you more than 10 grammar charts. Learn with people, not just textbooks. Conversations, podcasts, movies, they all carry emotion. Let them guide your journey. Let English touch your heart, not just your brain. Feel the language. Don't just study it. For example, if you're learning the phrase, I'm proud of you, don't just repeat it 10 times. Close your eyes. Think of a moment when someone said that to you, or when you wanted to say it to someone. Let the memory come. Let the feeling rise. Now say it again. I'm proud of you. Did you feel the difference? That's what real learning feels like. That's what makes your brain remember. That's what turns English into your language. So, dear learner, don't just fill your notebook with words. Fill your heart with meaning. Because language is not just made of rules. It's made of connection. And the more connected you feel to what you learn, the more naturally,
beautifully, and confidently, you'll begin to speak. The last mistake I want to share with you today is one that quietly affects so many English learners, and often they don't even realize it's happening. It's this: you're ignoring the mindset part of language learning. Let's pause here for a moment, because this one goes deep. You might be practicing every day. You're learning grammar, you're memorizing vocabulary, you're listening to English content. But still, when it's time to speak, your mind goes blank. Your heart starts racing. You feel stuck, even though you know the words. Why does this happen? Here's what research tells us. Anxiety, fear of being judged, perfectionism, these are not just emotional feelings. They directly affect your brain's ability to process and use language in the moment. When you feel anxious, your brain activates the amygdala. That's the emotional alarm center in your brain. It senses danger, even if there's no real threat. And when that alarm is on, your working memory, the part of your brain that helps you speak clearly, remember words, form sentences, gets shut down or slowed down. So, the more afraid or nervous you are, the harder it becomes to speak, even if you've studied for hours. That's why many learners say, "I knew what to say, but I just couldn't say it." It's not a language problem, it's a mindset problem. But here's the good news. Just like you train grammar and vocabulary, you can also train your mindset. So what can you do instead? Start by being kind to yourself. Talk to yourself like a supportive friend, not a critic. When you make a mistake, say, "It's okay, this is how I learn," not, "I'm so bad at this." Remind yourself, "I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to grow." Practice in low-pressure settings. Speak to yourself in English while walking. Record your voice. Practice shadowing in a calm environment. Celebrate small wins, like, "Today I said one full sentence with confidence." That's progress. That's growth. Also, breathe. Seriously. Before you speak, pause. Take a calm breath. Let your brain feel safe. Let your heart slow down. Because fluency doesn't grow in fear. It grows in calm. It grows in encouragement. It grows when you feel safe to make mistakes. And over time, as your mindset becomes gentler, your confidence becomes stronger. You'll speak more. You'll worry less. And you'll begin to enjoy the language, not fear it. So remember this. Your mind is part of your learning toolbox. If it's tense and afraid, it can't support your growth. But if it's calm, kind, and encouraged, you'll speak English more freely, more naturally, and more like you. So today, we explored 4 big mistakes that might be quietly holding you back in your English journey. And if you listen closely, you'll notice that behind each mistake, there's one gentle, powerful truth. Speak what you learn. Whether it's avoiding memorization without real use, waiting for perfection before speaking, learning without emotional connection, or ignoring your mindset while learning, the solution leads us to the same path. Use your English. Speak it, feel it, live it. Because language is not just something you study, it's something you experience. And my goal in today's episode was to help you realize that, to gently shine a light on the things that might be stopping you, so you can move forward with more awareness and more kindness toward yourself. I truly hope I was able to do that for you today. My dear learners, if this episode helped you, please take a moment to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It supports the channel, but more importantly, It tells me that this kind of content is helping you grow. Also, please share this episode with someone who might need to hear it, and leave a comment below. Your messages mean more than you know. They motivate me to keep creating with heart. I'll be back soon with another episode filled with valuable insights to support your English journey. Until then, keep learning, keep practicing, and most importantly, take care of yourself. Bye-bye for now.